hopefully. Some of what the farmhouse is like. Just gonna do one more test. Looks like it's working now. It didn't for a second. Open the mouth. Make noise if you want. Take a deep inhale. So you're welcome to do that as many times as you need throughout the class if you feel yourself kind of holding on to your breath. And then you're trying to control and slowly release the exhale. If you'd like to use that slight hissing sound, it's the exact same way that you make that HA sound out the mouth, but you close the mouth and do it in and out your nose. And you start to notice how you feel a little bit calmer, a little bit more focused. And in this calmer and more focused space, just take the opportunity to set an intention. So think about something you're working on, and then just narrow that down to 1 or 2 words. Simplify it to its purest form. Remembering that you are your best teacher, so if there's any point where you feel like you need a little rest or a little break, you're always welcome to come back to a seat or a child's pose to read. So on your next exhale, just tuck the chin down towards the chest. Tuck the head ear to shoulder, getting a little stretch through the back sides of the neck. Just moving with your breath, moving instinctually in a way that feels good. And then you're going to pause with the left ear to the left shoulder. Bring your right fingertips down to the earth beside you. Take that left hand up and over to the right temple. Just a little added weight, stretching through the right side of the neck. Make sure you're still sitting nice and tall in your seat. Make sure you're still sitting nice and tall in your seat. Back of the head. So you feel the stretch kind of move to the back right side of the neck, into that top of the shoulder. So there's a muscle that connects from the neck to the shoulder blade. See if you can feel that. And breathe into it. Expanding on the inhales, relaxing and lengthening on your exhales. Good. And then you're going to start to turn the head up towards the sky, like it's up towards the top right corner, and then stack the palms on your right pec. So just kind of feeling this pull down through the throat and into the top of that right pec. You might feel a little bit uncomfortable, but see if you can breathe into that sensation. We're not really used to stretching through our throat. So see what you can do today. Breathe into it. Take one more really good inhale. Then on your exhale, bring the hands back to your lap and then let that chin move back to the center of the chest. And then roll the head back up on top of the shoulders. Pause for a moment in stillness. Notice how one side of the neck feels compared to the other. And then just roll out the shoulders, the head. And then again, chin comes back to the center of the chest, starting to rock the head, ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. You might notice a difference in sensation from one side of the neck Compared to the other now. And then you're going to pause, this time with the right ear to the right shoulder. Taking the left fingertips down to the earth beside you, right hand up and over to the left temple. Just a little added weight. You're not forcing this. You feel this down the left side of the neck and into the top of the shoulder. Try to find those deep, full breaths. Good, and then start to turn the chin down towards that right collarbone. Move the hand to the back of the head. Again, you're not forcing this. It's just a little added weight. Now this stretch kind of moves to the back left side of the neck and into the top of the shoulder. So you can feel that muscle that runs from the neck to the shoulder blade and breathe into that. Take one more really good inhale. And then on your exhale, you're going to start to spin the chin up towards the sky. You keep your right ear tucked to the right shoulder and then stack the palms on that left pec. And just feel this kind of move through the throat. And then exhale, release the hands to the lap. Take the chin back to the center of the chest. And then roll the head back up on top of the shoulders. Take a moment here to sit nice and tall. Good. So if sitting in a cross-legged seat is uncomfortable, you're always welcome to take the legs out long if that's a little more comfortable. So from here, take your left hand down to the earth beside you. Take your right arm up. Take a good inhale. And then exhale, reach over to stretch through that right side of the body. So try to feel yourself still sitting and rooting into the seat. And then lift the right side of the body. And then on your inhale, start to spiral the chest up. Open the palm towards the sky. And then on your exhale, start to spiral the chest down towards the earth. Take your right hand down towards the left. And then swooping the hands in front of you and come all the way over to the opposite side. So right hand comes down, left arm reaches up and over the head. You stretch through that left side of the body. So try to get those deep, full breaths. Feel the lungs expand, the ribs expand, the muscles expand. When you exhale, you feel yourself stretching and sinking a little deeper into this. And then on your inhale, start to spiral the chest up towards the sky. And then on your exhale, towards the earth, take your left hand down to the right. And then exhale, swoop the hands in front of you. Take a moment to just fold forward over the legs. See if you can breathe into that lower back, maybe into the hips. You don't have to go very far. Just try to let yourself relax a little bit. You can let beside you. Good. And then if it's possible, you can roll over the knees. If that's not possible, just knock the feet out from underneath you. We're coming to a tabletop position. So stacking the shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. And in this tabletop position, just start to move the body. So just kind of roll around, shifting the shoulders and the hips. Just kind of try to pay attention to your instincts. What feels good? Shake up the head. What part of your body needs to stretch and open? And these movements are just going to kind of naturally take you into cat-cows. So on an inhale, you feel yourself drop the belly, pull the chest through the arms, and open through your throat for cow pose. And then on your exhale, you feel yourself pressing and rounding through the back body. Drop the head for cat. Good, a couple more rounds like this. Inhale, pull the heart through, open for cow. Exhale, press and round for cat. Two more, inhaling cow. Exhaling cat. Good, coming back to this neutral tabletop. We're gonna come into puppy dog pose. So you're going to take your hands, reach them forward. Keep your hips stacked over the knees, and you can bring your forehead down. So stretch through the back of the arms, the armpits, and the chest. Reach towards the mat. If you get the sensation that you're kind of falling forward, just kind of scoot your further back towards the heels. And just breathe here. puppy dog pose is a great modification for down. So if downward facing dog ever feels like it's just a little too much, you can drop the knees and you can always stay here in puppy dog pose. Remember, you're welcome to stay here in puppy dog pose, or if you want to press, kind of slide the hands back and then press into the feet to lift the hips up, come into downward facing dog. So from downward facing dog, just pedal out your feet, stretching through the ankles and the calves. You should really be lifting the hips them back. The chest is reaching towards the thighs. Good. And then on your next inhale, look between the hands. Over to the top of the mat, we're finding ragdoll. So feet are hip width knees as much as you need, and you just hang here. So feeling the weight of your torso. Try to feel that neck and shoulder release. So let gravity take over. If you feel like your neck is really strained, try shaking your head out, yes and no. Back and forth. Make sure you're not clenching your teeth. Just shift the jaw left to right. Mouth. Feel free to make noise if that feels good. And then the knees. Slowly start as much time as you need to roll yourself all the way up to standing. The head is the very last thing to stack. And then when it does, just roll out the head, the shoulders, shake out the arms and the legs. And then we're just going to meet at the top of the mat in Tadasana. So Tadasana is this neutral anatomical position. Your feet are hip width distance. You feel those hips stack over the ankles, the shoulders stack over the hips. The arms are out to the side. Palms turning out to help you get those shoulders rolling up. Good. From here, take a deep inhale. Let the arms rise up over the head. And then exhale, swan dive forward for forward fold Uttanasana. Inhale, bring the hands to the shins. Rise up just halfway. Try to find this neutral spot. Pull the shoulders back. You can bend your knees a little. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, fold back forward Uttanasana. And then inhale, rise all the way back up to standing. Palms come up over the head. We touch. Exhale, hands back to the heart. So that's called a sun breath. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale the arms up over the head. Exhale, swan dive forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway, like lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold back forward. Inhale, rise all the way back up. Palms touch up over the head. Exhale, hands to the heart. One more, just like that. Inhale, the arms up over the head. Palms touch. Exhale, swan dive forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway, like lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way back up. Palms touch. Exhale, hands to the heart. Take a moment here. Palms to the heart. Maybe tuck your chin a little bit. Just feel yourself moving forward and back on the feet. See if you can find that balance. And rooting good into this posture. So if you weren't here at the beginning, we set an intention. So think about something you're working on. It could be something that you want to gain. It could be something that you want to lose, let go of. But just try to dedicate this class to that intention, that goal. So when we're moving through the flow, you can come back to this as a source of motivation to keep you focused, keep you in the moment as best as you can. Good. On an inhale, open the eyes, reach the arms up over the head. Exhale, swan dive forward. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, fingertips to the mat. Step the left foot back. Drop the left knee. Untuck the left toes for this low lunge. So right leg's forward. You stack the right knee on top of the ankle, and you're reaching your hips to the back of this thigh. Yeah. So if you need to scooch the foot forward or scooch the knee back, you're just trying to keep this right knee stacked over the ankle. Yeah. There you go. So you're more flexible than you thought. Awesome. So you're leaning into this here. If it feels better to have your hands up, that's cool too. Let's take one more really good inhale. And then exhale, you're going to sit the hips back for half split. So straighten through that right leg as best you can. Your hands frame the leg. The back of that leg, that hamstring. back in the knee, but then you're going to slide the foot. So now that knee is going to bend all the way past the toes. So you're getting to the point right before that heel wants to lift up, but you're really trying to root the heel down. So we're working on the flexion in our ankle joint here. And I like to bring some weight onto this thigh to just really feel this back of the ankle joint up into the calf. Good. Take one more exhale. And then on your inhale, you're going to lift the hips up, untuck your back toes, lift the back knee, walk the foot forward just enough to get the heel to connect. So coming into pyramid pose, both legs are working towards straight, and you're going to just work to level the hips. So hinging over the hips. If we had some blocks, you could bring your hands to blocks, but we don't have them. So if you need to stay up a little bit, that's okay. Facing dog. So from down, pedal out your feet, stretch through the ankles and the calves. And then inhale your left leg up to the sky. Bend the knee and stack the hip. So opening to the front of the left hip. And then roll out your ankle. So swivel it in one direction and then the other. And then roll out your hip. So take your knee, draw big giant circles. Think about that big femur bone rolling around its joint. Under the belly, all the way back and around. Good. And then level the hip back out. Straighten the leg, flex the toes down. Inhale, look forward. On your exhale, you're going to take this left foot to the outside of the left hand. Drop the back knee. Untuck the toes. So the left foot's forward, and it's out a little bit. So your hands are to the inside. If you ever need a rest, feel free to just rest for a little bit. You don't have to do everything today. The trees behind you a little more. There you go. So if you want to get into the outside, you can pivot the left toes out, hands by the other side. But if this hurts your knee, don't push it. Good. So bringing that knee back in. Heel to the foot in between the hips. So you frame that left foot. And then you're going to untuck the back toes, lift the back, and see if you can step your right foot forward to meet the left. Good, good. So take a little ragdoll here. Bend the knees a little bit, shake it out. Maybe a nice sigh out the mouth if you need. Good. Find a halfway lift. So hands reach the hips back. Drop the right knee and tuck the toes. So low lunge here. You're framing the foot. And you're trying to reach the hips forward to stretch to the top of this leg. If you need to bring your hands up to the thigh, you can do that. That's all right. Really getting into the hip flexors. It's pretty tough. Good. And then on your exhale, you're going to sit the hips back, straighten through the left leg. Trying to breathe into the hamstring on the back of that quad. Good, and then you're going to inhale, bend back into the knee and start to slide the foot closer to you so that you can bend the knee past the toes. So it's going to be like that back heel is going to want to start to lift up. So just try to get right before it lifts up and root the heel down. Working on flexion so many times, I had so much scar tissue in there that I didn't body. Then after doing it like 3 or 4 times, I was like, oh my God, I have to do this like every day. My ankles want to be stretched. All right, so lifting the hips back up, untuck the back toes, lift the back knee, walk the foot forward just enough to straighten through both the legs. So the front heel to the back toes are about 3 feet apart. And to hinge and fold over the legs. I wish we had some blocks to lift up on, but bring your hands to that leg. It takes some balance to do that. Good, and then you're going to plant the hands, step back to downward facing dog, pedal out the feet. Let's take a good inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, side out. And then from inhale, your right knee, stack the hip. Roll out your ankle joint. And the other direction. And then level the hips, straighten the leg, flex the toes down, inhale, look forward. On your exhale, the right foot's coming to the outside of the right hand. Drop the back knee and tuck the toes. So runner's lunge. So the right foot's forward. It's a little bit on the outside of the mat. Your hands are to the inside. And again, you're stretching to the top of this back thigh. So you're trying to reach the hips forward and down. Just see if you can find your breath. When you get into these intense poses, it's really easy to start holding your breath, but see if you can maintain it, because that's going to help those muscles to let go. Your breath is connected to your nervous system. So longer breath slows down the nervous system, allowing the muscles to release. If you want to pivot your right toes out and bring that hand to the inner thigh and roll it open, you can. But remember, if this hurts your knee, don't push it. Good. Inhale, bring it back. Heel toe that foot in between the hands. Untuck the back toes, lift the back knee. This time, step your right foot back, down dog. And then drop the knees. Let's sit back for a child's pose. Take a moment. So big toes to touch, knees wide. Reach the arms out long, forehead to the mat. So breathing here, anytime your head is below your heart, again, that nervous system, it slows the heart rate down, allowing everything to kind of slow down, allowing you to find a little more focus. Remember, you're always welcome to just take those sighs out the mouth if you need to refocus. Remind yourself of that intention that we set, to give yourself that source of motivation to feel a little bit more present. That's the practice. That's meditation. Good. So when you feel ready, you're going to press yourself back into down dog, remembering that that child's pose is there for you anytime you need it. Inhale, look between the hands. Exhale, step forward to the top of the mat. So your big toes touch, a little space between the heels. And then you're going to sit the hips back like you're sitting in a chair, and then reach the arms up for Utkatasana chair pose. So it's like you're sitting in this imaginary chair. This is making those quads work. So keep reaching the hips back and down, back and down, back and down. We're going to take one more inhale here. And then exhale, fold back forward. You're going to take your feet hip width distance. Shake it out like a rag doll. And then we're going to come into Pada Hastasana. So Pada means foot, Hasta means hand. It's foot to hand pose. So you bend your knees as much as you need, and you're going to take the hands and try to step on them. So fingers, palms, all the way up to the wrist. Try to bring the weight a little forward into the toes to get that compression. Make sure you relax the head and the neck. Good, and then releasing the hands one at a time. Make it just a touch. A little space between the heels. Sit back in your chair. Inhale up, Utkatasana chair. Good, this time bring your hands together at the heart. Take a really good inhale. And on your exhale, your left elbow comes to the right knee, a little twist. So you can use that elbow as leverage to kind of twist a little deeper. So back and down, back and down. One more inhale. And then exhale, folding back forward. Ragdoll, feet hip width distance, shake it out. Good. So this time we're coming into Pada Gustasana. So Pada's foot, Gusta is this big toe grip with the big peace fingers and the thumb. Keep the peace fingers and the thumb around the big toes. You bend your knees as much as you need to do it. And then you're inhaling, trying to lengthen. Find that halfway lift with the spine. And then on your exhale, you use your arm strength to bend the elbows out wide. Reach the crown of the head towards the mat. Maybe you start to lift the hips up towards the sky to straighten the legs as best you can. Good, and then releasing, shake it out. Heel toe the feet back together. Big toes to touch, little space between the heels. Sit back in your chair, inhale up, Utkatasana chair pose. Quads are working. Bring the palms together at the heart. Take a really good inhale. Exhale, right elbow to the left knee this time. So right elbow to the left knee. Try to keep those hips aligned, keep those knees in line. Using the elbows as leverage to twist. Take one more really good inhale. And then exhale, folding forward. Again, ragdoll, feet are hip width distance, shake it out. Good, so heel toe the feet, mat width distance, turn the toes out, squat down, Malasana squat. So your feet can come as wide as you need to squat. This is a tough one. I wish we had blocks to sit your hips on if you needed to. So try to get your elbows to those inner thighs and open up those inner thighs. Pressing into the palms to pull the chest through and reach the crown of the head towards the sky. Imagine that your hips are weighing down and rooting into the earth. Good. Taking one really good inhale. And then on your exhale, we're going to come to a seat. So if you can, just drop back. If not, just find your way onto your butt. Good. You're on your butt. So we're going to do a little core strengthening. We're going to come into boat pose. So you find those two sits bones and kind of feel yourself lean back a little bit. Bring the hands behind the knees. So I've been filming myself a lot doing virtual yoga, and I notice that my head always rounds forward in this. So just try to let your head drop back in line with the back of your spine. And being right here might be enough for your core. If you feel like you want to do a little bit more, see if you can come up onto your toes, lean a little bit further back. So one step at a time. So if you feel your core shaking, you can stay right there. If you're ready for more, maybe lift the shins up towards the sky. Maybe you release your hands.
There you go. Now feel it.
Now you feel it shaking. Maybe you straighten the legs. So we're holding here. Let your core shake. That means it's working for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Bring it back down. So when your core starts to shake, those muscles are like right at the edge, like, ah! But what can happen a lot of the times with the core, if you guys ever have low back pain, it might be because your core strength isn't there. So we're going to do that pose 2 more times. But don't let yourself get past it, because you'll feel it. If you start to shake and then all of a sudden it stops, you go, ooh, and your low back, those muscles start to take over. And if you have a sore low back, those muscles are just compensating for the core. So we really want to work on the core. So that shaking is good, but don't go past the shaking point where you feel yourself go ooh into the low back. So we're going to do it 2 more times. So bring your hands behind the knees. Feel yourself just kind of lean back into this. Let your head drop back. So one step at a time. Maybe you come up to the toes. Maybe you lift the shins. Maybe you release the hands. Maybe you straighten the legs. Hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Come back and take a good inhale. Lengthen. Sigh it out. Good. One more time, just like that. Bring the hands behind the knees. Let yourself drop back. One step at a time. Maybe the toes. Maybe you lift the shins. Maybe you release the hands. Maybe you start to straighten the legs. Additional challenge if you want. You start to lower. 5, 4. Don't drop into the low back. 3, 2, 1. Hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back up. Good. Take a good inhale. Sigh it out. Good. So we're going to come, take the feet out from underneath you, and you're going to come back onto in your tabletop position. We're going to set up for a hip stretch. We're going to start with a hip or a stretch called deer pose, and then maybe transition into a deeper pose. So you're going to take your right knee forward. Yeah. So it's this kind of zigzag seat like this. Some people call it cheerleader seat. So your right shin should be parallel. There you go. Hey, you did it.
I got an injury right here. I'm on week 13.
Okay, so be careful. Don't push it. Does it feel okay? Right here, okay? If it starts to hurt your injury, then just back off, okay? So from here, You're going to try to fold over the right leg. So Rachel, let's see. Can you take that?
Let's see.
There you go. Perfect. That's it.
Yeah, right. Well, she got replaced hips.
That's
so
exactly it.
we both struggle on hips.
Good, thank you, Erica.
But you feel good? You feel okay?
I'm good.
Okay. You guys feel good on YouTube? We're on YouTube Live. Did you know that? Folding over, trying to breathe. Remember how your breath will help you. I know it's hard when you're feeling intense feelings. Let's see if you can count when you inhale. You count 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3. Just like that. 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3. Couple more times on your own, just like that. So you can stay right here. If you want to move into pigeon, that back leg is going to straighten and you kind of shift your hips over. So this is pretty intense. If you're already feeling it strong, just stay where you're at.
Yeah, we'll watch Andy do that.
So again, find your breath.
Yeah, how come we take
Don't push it. Don't push it. Good. Let's do 3 more rounds of breath here. And then on your next inhale, just use your arms to press up. So you're just going to kind of rock onto that right hip, take the knees up, windshield wiper them left to right. Nature. Bugs. Good. Now you're going to come back. So that left shin is forward. And then that right leg is coming behind you. There you go. Oop, you all right? Don't push it. Okay. So just a little fold. So if you want to go into that pigeon, extend the right leg back, roll the hips over. You might need to tuck that front leg in a little bit. Don't push it. Breathing. Remember to count your breath. That helps. So your breath is one of the only systems of the body that we have conscious control over. Most often we unconsciously breathe. It also happens unconsciously. But one of the brilliant things about yoga is it teaches you how to control your breath. And your breath has so much control over the rest of your body, your heart rate, your nervous system. So by learning to slow down the breath, you calm the body down, allowing it to function a little better. And vice versa, when you need some energy and you speed up your breath a little bit, that can help you find some energy. There's a breath called breath of fire that invigorates you. Good, let's do 3 more rounds of breath here. Good. Inhaling back up. Just kind of rock onto the left hip so you can swoop that right leg forward. And just roll the legs out. Good. And you're going to take the legs out long in front of you. You can keep them bent a little bit if you need. And then from here, you're going to take your right foot to the outside. Good. So feeling yourself sit strong into those sit bones, pull the leg in. Just squeeze and inhale, lengthen through the spine. And then on your exhale, take that left elbow, wrap it around the shin. Right hand behind you. Find a little twist. Twisting. Good. Inhale, come back to center. And then we're going to switch. So right leg comes out. Left foot comes to the outside of the right leg. So first, just interlace the hands around that shin and squeeze it in and lengthen through the spine. Behind you, twist. Looking over towards the left. Don't push it. Don't push it. Breathe. Good. And then come back to center, releasing that left leg out. Take a second to just kind of shake out the legs, like literally use your hands to shake the quads, and then roll out those kneecaps. Good. And then you're going to scooch to the center of the mat and come down onto your elbows, down onto your back. Let's take the soles of the feet together, knees wide. So you can scooch the feet down towards the bottom of the mat to kind of relieve those abductors on the inner thighs a little bit. And just bring your hands to your belly and breathe here just for a few rounds of breath. So when you inhale, you feel the belly rise up into your hands. When you exhale, you feel the belly lower back down. So practice that. Every inhale, the belly rises up into the hands. Fill up the lungs. Every exhale, the belly lowers back down. Empty out the lungs. A couple more rounds. Inhale, belly rise. Exhale, belly lowers. Inhale, belly rises. Exhale, belly lowers. Good. On your next inhale, just use your hands to pull the thighs together. Pull the knees together. You're going to extend the left leg long and then just pull that right knee up into the chest. Interlace the fingers around the right shin. Good. So try to relax the head back, and you're just going to squeeze that knee up and around the rib cage towards your right armpit. Good. And then bringing it back into the midline. You're going to extend the right leg back long and now take that left knee in, interlace that awkward interlace. So the opposite interlace of the fingers around the left shin, pulling that knee up and around the rib cage, squeezing it towards the left armpit. Good. Bringing it back in and releasing. So taking the soles of the feet to the ground, knees are up towards the sky. So walk your feet up as close as you can towards your butt, towards your glutes. Keep the hips and the knees and the feet hip-width distance. Take your arms by your side, palms down. So pressing into the hands, pressing into the feet. Start to lift the hips up off the earth. Maybe squeeze your shoulder blades back towards. Squeeze your glutes, so squeeze your butt. And then slowly start to lower the hips back down. We're going to just pulse through that. So inhale, lifting the hips up, squeeze the glutes. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, lift. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift. 3. Hold up, squeeze, and take little pulses here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower eyes wide. Start just by bringing your hands to the back of the thighs and flex the feet towards the sky. So this might be enough, like you're squatting on the sky. Maybe you bring your hands up to the backs of the calves. Maybe you can reach the outside edges of the feet, but don't let your head lift up. So relax the head. It's fine to just have the backs of the thighs here rocking side to side. Let it feel really good. Good. And then squeezing the knees back and give yourself one more little squeeze in, a little love, a little hug. And then on your exhale, just legs out long, arms out long, setting up for your final Shavasana. So you guys are laying flat on your back. I'm going to talk you through a little yoga nidra. So while you're here, resting, closing the eyes, I'm going to just talk you through a little yoga nidra to help you relax. Just trying to bring your awareness to that space and see if you can release any unnecessary tension you might be holding. So you might want to kind of give it a wiggle, but you don't have to. Just see if you can let and let go. So we're going to start off by noticing your left and relax, the left pointer finger, the middle finger, the ring finger, and the pinky. Release and relax the palm of the hand, the back of the hand, around the left wrist and up the left forearm, around the elbow and up that bicep and tricep of the left arm, up over the head of the shoulder and down into your left armpit. Releasing and relaxing down the left side body, in between the ribs, into those left obliques, into that left hip, down the left hip crease and around the left glutes. And then into the top of the thigh, those quads and the back of the thigh, into the hamstring, releasing around the knee, behind the knee, down the left shin and calf, around that left ankle, cupping the heel, swooping up the back of the foot, and around to the top of the foot. Release and relax that left big toe, the second toe, the third toe, the fourth toe, and the fifth toe. And then releasing and relaxing your right thumb, the pointer finger, the middle finger, the ring finger, and the pinky, through the palm and the back of the hand, around that right wrist, up the right forearm and around that elbow, up the top of the arm, those biceps and triceps, up and over the head of the shoulder, into that right armpit, releasing and relaxing down the right side body, in between the ribs, into those right obliques, down the right hip crease and around the glutes, and into that thigh, through the quads, the back of the thigh, those hamstrings, and then into the back of the knee, around the front of the knee, down the right shin and the calf, around the right ankle, cupping the heel, swooping up through the back of the foot and around to the top of the foot. Release and relax that right big toe, the second toe, the third toe, the fourth toe, and the fifth toe. Feeling that back body heavy, relaxed into the earth. The backs of the legs, the glutes into that sacrum and low back, up through the middle back, your right shoulder blade and your left shoulder blade, down the backs of the arms, into the back of the neck, feeling the back of the head weighing down into the earth. You're feeling the top body and the space around you, the tops of the feet, up the top of the legs, into that low belly pelvic area. Release and relax the hips. Up into the upper belly and stomach where the ribs meet. Release and relax into that right chest, left chest, right collarbone and left collarbone, down the arms, feeling your throat release. As you inhale, feel cool air moving in. As you exhale, feel warm air moving out. Feeling your jaw release. Maybe find a little space between the teeth and shift the jaw left to right. Let the tip of the tongue rest at the roof of the mouth where it meets the teeth, sliding down the back of the throat. Feeling the cheeks release, the eyes release, the ears release, the forehead and that space in between the eyebrows soften and release around the crown of the head. Feeling yourself weigh really heavy into the earth. Almost like you're growing branches and just melding with the earth around you. You start to not be able to tell the difference between your body and the space around you. So much so that you start to feel really light, actually. You don't feel your body at all. You just kind of float up and let the body. Moments here, really relaxing deeply. Know that you are always welcome to come back to this space. This is your space that you created. So when you feel ready today, slowly start to bring yourself back into your body. Start by deepening your breath and moving your fingers and your toes. We're just taking it really slow. And start to roll over to your fetal position. Just curl up nice and cozy on your side. So this is a really easy and comfortable position. I want you to feel this easy, comfortable space. This is the way a lot of us like to sleep at night. So in this space, just take an opportunity to take stock of what you have in your life to feel grateful for. Take an opportunity to find gratitude. I know it's easy to focus on all the things going wrong sometimes, so just take an opportunity to really focus on the things that are going right. Feel good, feel happy. And you feel nice and slowly start to drag yourself up to a comfortable seat. So just finding a comfortable seat, just keeping your eyes soft or closed, bringing the palms together at your heart. Reminding yourself of that intention that we set. Just remember that when you define what it is that you want, that is the very first step towards getting it. So remind yourself, what's your goals, what's your dreams? The teacher and the light in me honors, respects, and sees the teacher and the light in you. Namaste. Yay! We did
I'm
it!
laying here going, I wish I didn't have some pants on. I could get a suntan.
I was like, man, I'm gonna get a suntan right here.
Like that, you should have a yesterday. Thank you guys so much for coming. I hope that it came through. I know that I'm a silhouette, but I hope that you were able to practice with me today. This is the Farmhouse, and pretty soon I'm going to be announcing the fall retreat as soon as we feel that we have, safety and health considered. And I do know for a fact that we're going to limit it to 10 people. I do have 6 people so far interested. A couple of them are solid and confirmed. So if it's something that you are interested in, send me a message and I can put you on the list for me to send you the date first before I send it to anyone else. So just send me a message and I'll add you to the list. I would love to have you here. It's going to be so much fun. I hope that you got or will be getting some nature today. Just get yourself some vitamin. Go breathe by some trees because they give you oxygen and you give them carbon dioxide. So it's that circle of life. All right. I love you guys. See you soon.